Alright guys, we've got some massive Forsaken news to cover today. From Aberrant John Doe showing up in public lobbies, to a huge slasher lore Q&A revealing a ton of new information, and even Bluudud's animations getting completely reworked. There's a lot to break down. You definitely don't want to miss this one, so let's get right into it. Firstly, we've got some really interesting and honestly pretty chaotic news surrounding Aberrant John Doe, because recently he's actually started appearing inside random Forsaken lobbies. And trust me, there's a lot to unpack here, including some unexpected drama. So recently, Alex made a post confirming that Aberrant John Doe is now roaming around in public matches. He explained that the skin is still extremely buggy and unfinished, so this is most likely early testing to make sure everything works before the full release. According to him, only 4 people currently have access to the skin, which makes the sightings even rarer. Luckily though, some gameplay footage did surface, giving us our first look at how he functions in-game. From the footage we got, Aberrant John Doe looks incredible. One of the first things people noticed is that his size seems to have been slightly reduced, and honestly, this makes complete sense. If he were too large, his hitbox would cause all sorts of problems, so shrinking him keeps him intimidating without breaking gameplay. We also got to see several of his animations, including his corrupt energy effects, his digital footprint ability, and even his kill animation. Even though some of these are clearly unfinished, they already look super clean and very polished. The only major animation missing so far is his stun animation, which hasn't been implemented yet. Now here's where things get really exciting. Alex confirmed that the current build of Aberrant John Doe is only around 30% complete. That means roughly 70% of his effects, animations, polish, and overall functionality still need to be added. Considering how good he already looks in this incomplete state, the finished version has the potential to be one of the best skins Forsaken has ever had. The community reaction to the early testing was extremely positive overall, but unfortunately, the timing of all this led to some unnecessary drama. Because of the recent controversies happening around Forsaken, some people started claiming that the showcase of Aberrant John Doe was meant to distract or cover up the drama so the community would forget everything going on. These accusations spread quickly, and Alex ended up speaking out about it. He was understandably upset. Alex explained that Aberrant John Doe has been his passion project for over a year and a half, and he simply wanted to share something he's worked incredibly hard on. Having people twist that into some sort of manipulation tactic or drama cover-up was frustrating for him, especially because he had absolutely nothing to do with any of the issues currently happening behind the scenes. And honestly, he's right to be upset. The drama lately has been bad, yes, but blaming developers who are just doing their jobs and working on the parts of the game they love is completely unfair. Not every update, teaser, or showcase is some hidden agenda. Sometimes devs just want to show their art and progress without being dragged into unrelated controversy. But yeah, that's the full situation. What do you guys think about Aberrant John Doe so far, and how do you feel about the drama surrounding his showcase? Let me know in the comments. Nextly, recently we got a really interesting Q&A with a developer named Gub, who is one of the main creators behind Slasher. Up until now, they've been pretty secretive about Slasher's lore, but they finally decided to start revealing things. Gub hosted a full Q&A where they answered a bunch of community questions about Slasher's backstory, and even shared several pieces of really cool artwork to go along with the answers. I'm not going to cover everything here, but I want to go over the parts that stood out the most. Firstly, someone asked whether Slasher actually knows what he's doing when he attacks people, or if he's just a mindless beast that attacks anything he sees, similar to characters like John Doe and Sixer. Gub responded by confirming that Slasher is not mindless at all. He's actually a fully conscious person who is completely aware of what he's doing and remains in control of his actions, which is pretty terrifying. Next, someone asked whether the Necrobloxicon is controlling Slasher in any way. Gub confirmed that the book does not directly control him. Instead, it only sounds like his mother's voice. From the way it was explained, the book doesn't fully possess him. It manipulates and coerces him emotionally by pretending to be someone he trusted. It's almost like a lighter version of the corruption we've seen with John Doe. Slasher is still acting on his own will, but the Necrobloxicon influences his decisions in a very twisted, personal way. Another question asked whether Slasher needs food or water to survive, and whether he's actually undead. Gub confirmed that Slasher is indeed undead and effectively immortal. He doesn't need to eat or drink at all, and he could literally lay down without food or water for years and still be alive. That honestly makes his existence even darker, because it means he's trapped in this state indefinitely with no natural way out. Someone else asked how Slasher even ended up being drafted into the military and how he was taken to Area 51 in the first place. Gob explained that drafts were actually very common in the Bacon Empire at the time, which is how Slasher was selected. The Super Soldier project also needed a vessel, and they specifically chose someone who had almost no family and no one who really cared about him, because his disappearance wouldn't raise any alarms. That's honestly one of the saddest parts of his lore. He was chosen simply because no one would miss him. Then someone asked if Slasher had any friends during the war, or if he was still treated horribly the entire time. Surprisingly, Gob confirmed that during the war, Slasher was actually treated as an equal by the other soldiers and even ended up making a friend. Apparently she was an able-bodied soldier, just like everyone else. It's nice to hear something positive about Slasher's backstory for once. Anyways, that's all I'm going to cover from the Q&A for now, but there were a lot more questions answered and a ton of awesome artwork shared that I didn't get into here. If you're interested in Slasher's lore, I definitely recommend checking out the full thread on Twitter because it adds a massive amount of depth to his character. Nextly, we recently learned that Bluudud's new animations are most likely going to be changed, and this follows a pretty mixed reaction from the community. If you didn't know, in the most recent update for Forsaken, Bluudud finally received his custom animations, which was something a lot of players had been waiting for. Unfortunately, the overall reception to them wasn't the greatest. A lot of people felt that the animations looked stiff, awkward, and unfinished, and that they didn't really fit the tone of the game or even the character himself. Some players also said the movements felt a bit too exaggerated and out of place compared to the rest of the roster. Personally, I can see where people are coming from. The animations did look a little strange at times, and I definitely think they could use a bit of polish. That said, I actually really like the ideas behind them, and I think with a few tweaks they could work really well. Now, the animator behind these moves, Coconut, recently spoke about the situation and revealed that they aren't fully happy with how the animations turned out either. Because of the community feedback and their own thoughts on the result, they're now planning on completely redoing Bluudud's animations. According to Coconut, the current versions ended up being a bit too goofy, and the new goal is to shift them toward a more serious style that better fits Forsaken's overall tone. Interestingly though, not everyone agrees with this change. A lot of players responded saying that they actually liked the goofy style of the current animations and felt that it gave Bluudud more personality and charm. Some even said that making them too serious might take away what made them fun in the first place. So right now, the community is pretty split. Some people want polished, serious animations, while others want the original goofy vibe to stay. At this point, it really comes down to what direction the devs want to take the character in, whether they go for serious or keep some of that playful energy. It's clear Bluudud's animations are going to be changing in some way. But what do you guys think? Should the animations be fully redone into a more serious style, or should they keep the goofy vibe and just polish what's already there? Anyways, that's all the Forsaken news for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about everything we covered. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.